No one's going to look at you and say, why would you be anxious? Because we know anxiety is a sin, but it's an acceptable sin. Everybody's just like, oh, yeah, I know. We live in a fallen, broken world, and you have kids, and you're anxious about them, and you have health issues, and you're anxious about, like, come on, who among us, right? But do you realize how much joy and delight you have likely lost due to anxiety? How much you have been robbed. Like, I don't know how to quantify joy. I don't know which unit of measurement to use, but I'll say this. You have no idea how often you've been robbed of joy by anxiety. How often that thief hasn't even had to break in, has walked into the house of your life because you have opened the door for it, stood there even as it entered, and let it take up residence in your mind and heart. Do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put on. I love the question he asks in verse 25. Which one of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? When I would argue, not only do you not add, you surely take away. You'll never get that time back. If then you are not able to do as small a thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest? Think about the things that you have been anxious about and how many of them have come to pass. The things that you have been nervous about and how many of them actually, like, I know anxious is a sin, but look, it happened. I bet if you were to make a list of the things that have weighed you down in anxiety over the years and then put a check mark next to how many of them have happened, you would check very few. I haven't counted, but I bet 90% of the things that I've been most anxious about in my life are idols in my life. And it's likely the same with you. If idolatry is a plant, anxiety is a phenomenal fertilizer. Usually we're anxious about something that's out of our control. Even though God is in control, that's not good enough. We would feel way better if Jesus didn't take the wheel, but gave the wheel to us. Like, could Jesus ride shotgun? And you can read Psalms to me as I drive. I love your presence. But I would feel safer if I drove. But wouldn't you prefer Jesus to drive? Could I? No. I don't want him to drive. I'll drive. Don't you think he's a better driver than you? I'd rather drive. God being in control takes too much trust. Hey, little plug for CDT. Because our advanced track for CDT this year is on anxiety. I can't think of a single person it wouldn't apply to. Counselor, not a counselor, new Christian, older Christian. No one looks at that topic and they're like, I don't know what that's like. I don't know if that applies to me. Like, we did one on parenting teens. You might be way out of that season. You might have no kids. I would love to say it applies to you. If certain people, it just doesn't apply to. Yes, maybe, you want to be able to help somebody. That's fine. This topic, anxiety, who does that not apply to? Learning how to deal with anxiety, who cannot benefit from that? I would strongly encourage you to register for CDT if you haven't already, because this is an area of our life where we need to grow, because we need to stop accepting anxiety in our lives, stop accepting nervousness in our lives, and learn how to put it to death. What about you? Think about how you normally understand the commands you come across in the Bible. How will you respond to God's command that you enjoy the things he has given us? Ingratitude, grumpiness, nervousness, they're all the kinds of sins that we tolerate. When we do that, when we smile at them, when we roll our eyes, we're like, I know it's wrong. Our emotions are in opposition to God's. God has never smiled at ingratitude. He's never laughed off your grumpiness. He's never thought about nervousness as no big deal. How will you respond to God's command that you enjoy the things that he has given us?